welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be showing you how to use avocado pits and avocado skin from your avocados to make this water over here. This is avocado dye that I made at least, I don't know, a couple weeks ago that I saved in a plastic container that you get like soup in, like noodles from like a restaurant, and they put them in those plastic containers that are tall. And what I didn't use, I saved, and I put it in a container and I put a lid on it, and I just kept it in room temperature, and it's still, look at this dye, it's still perfect. I had to restrain it because it kind of collected some kind of residue from the skin over the time that I was saving it. But I was just basically doing like an experiment so I could see, you know, if it would last, if I could save it, because I was up for a while dyeing paper that last time that I made it. So I had some extra skins. Some people say you need up to like 3 avocados to 4 avocados, but I'm just gonna use what I have on hand. I think this was from 3 avocados. 2 pits I also put in. I don't know if you can see it, but I punctured the last pits that I use, but since I've been boiling it, it kind of punctured itself, as you can see inside here. So yeah, so basically what you do is after you're done eating your avocado, you save the skin and you scoop out as much as the avocado as you can with a spoon. So it's just the skin. Some of them obviously I didn't scoop out as well, but I washed all my avocados before I eat them on the outside of the skin, and then I eat them obviously, and then I save the skins. So these are a few days old and they got really dry, but then once I added the water, I just filled up a pot, put all the skins in with the pits, and then I waited for it to boil for like a minute, and then I turned it to simmer. So this has been simmering for about 5 minutes now, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. I don't know. It's late here, so my kids are sleeping, so that's when I have to do my videos. Otherwise, I'll have interruptions. So just to give you an example, this is the dye in the back. I'm using a Pyrex lasagna size pan because I don't know if I use a metal pan, if it will somehow affect the dye color. So I recommend using glass. And then after, to get the color in the back here, where I'm pointing, I put it in the oven at 250 and I let it heat up for a while. So then it was in there for like, I don't know, 45 minutes to get to this color. So I'm doing it again, and to save on time, I'm just going to show you what I do after I get the water. I strain all the stuff out with a strainer. I'll show you what I use. You can use one of these mesh strainers to get all like the yucky stuff, and then if you don't use all the dye, you can save it in a plastic container, which I will also show you. So basically I stored all the dye in one of these containers and I put a lid on it at room temperature, don't forget. Strained it in one of these guys. And now I'm going to show you how I do the dyeing. This is on simmer still, so I'm going to let this simmer for as long as I like the way the color is turning. Obviously, the more concentrated the dye becomes, the more color you're going to get out of your paper. So I, hold on one second. I'm just going to close the door so I have more privacy. I don't like people listening to me make videos. It's, I don't know, a weird thing I have. So anyways, so I have this vintage paper. It's really pretty. It has a butterfly, and it even has like yellow aging on it. I think I got this from like a tag sale or something. I'm gonna try some of this in the dye. So I'm just gonna put it in the dye, and I have some chopsticks here. I'm gonna push it down into the dye with. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I like the imperfections that it gives, whatever I put in, because it has a special, unique look that you can't replicate from any paper pad or what am I trying to say? I don't know. You just have a very unique look that you can't copy or reproduce, and it's like a one-of-a-kind thing. I don't have a lot of dye left in the pan in the back because I used a lot of it the last time I made it. As you can see, it's already picking up on the paper. The longer you leave it in, the better effect it has. So I'm gonna let that just sit in the water. And this dye, like I said before, was in the oven for like 45 minutes in the glass pan the last time I made it. So this is old dye here, and this is the new dye in the pot, which is simmering. And this will get darker as it sits longer in the water and in the oven. I'm also gonna put in some of these really pretty handmade papers that I got a long time ago at AC Moore before they closed. And this one has foiling on it. It's really pretty. I'm gonna put that in. And then you'll see what happens as it sits in this water. I'm also gonna put in some acrylic yarn I got from the dollar store. It's white. And see how that works. I'm gonna just stick that one in the back. So yeah, that's how you make your own avocado dye. I'm gonna just pick this piece up. I have some plastic to the side of the stove that I'm going to sit these on after I kind of hang it with my chopsticks. You could use tongs too, but I couldn't find any tongs at the moment, so I'm using chopsticks, which works probably better than tongs because you have more control if you can hold them or know how to hold chopsticks. Tongs if you don't, and chopsticks if you do. So see how this yarn is already picking up the color? Now, we don't know how it's gonna look once it dries, but I've tested some other things with this dye, and it works really well, even on synthetic material. Yeah, I feel like I could make better videos if I knew nobody could hear me. I have neighbors that live relatively close by, and other people in the house. So see how this dye is soaking into the white yarn? And then once it dries, it's gonna get, what do you call it? Lighter. And this avocado dye here has been sitting in a container for at least 2 weeks until last time I made it. It could be even 3 weeks, but it was sanitary because it was in a container with a lid, and I strained out anything that accumulated in time. So because this yarn is picking up so fast, I'm gonna take it out. See how it soaks up so much of the dye? I almost want to squeeze it. I think I'm going to just squeeze it out so it doesn't take all the dye that I have left. So see, it's like this peachy pink. It's pretty cool. I like the way it came out. I'm probably going to do some more dyeing with the yarn for a longer period of time, but I just want to show you how the avocado dye affects white. I'm going to put it in this little container, put it to the side. And then I'm also going to put some of these vintage, really old envelopes in to the dye. I think I'm going to take this gold foiling out first because there's no room in the pan. So yeah, that's how you make your own avocado dye. I don't think I need to videotape me putting it in the oven. Basically, you can use a Pyrex lasagna pan. You put the dye in once it's done simmering for as long as you like the way it looks in the pot. As you can see here, it's already turning almost similar to the color that was sitting for 3 weeks. I'm gonna put another piece of paper in here too with the envelope. Just slip this in. I like stacked them before and had multiple sheets of copy paper in here that I dyed, and it still worked even though things got pushed around. I also have a giant piece of tablecloth on the floor for larger pieces to just dry in my kitchen. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, If you don't mind, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And hit the subscribe button to see more crafty videos and hauls and things like that related to crafts and the arts. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye.